When you're 18 and you lose all of that, it's devastating. My name's Brett Babcock, I'm 21 years old, and I've been in my wheelchair for almost 3 years. So I started trampoline at the age of 7, so around grade 2, I had a trampoline in my backyard. By the age of 9, I was competing on Team Ontario, and by 14, I made my first Canadian national team and competed in New Zealand. And by the age of 18, that's when I went senior, but my career basically ended halfway through my first senior year of competitive trampoline. In the beginning, there were quite a few of those days where I didn't want to get out of my bed and face the fact that I had quadriplegia, but it's definitely something I've overcome now. I'm more motivated to get up and do something and be active and feel better about myself. So going to the gym, I just appreciate that I'm able to even move my arms and be allowed the privilege to go to the gym, because initially I couldn't move anything. So I think I always look back to who I was in 2012 in the hospital when I could barely move, and I think that guy definitely motivates me because he was so optimistic even though he had basically nothing, no mobility. So I think I owe it to him to at least get out of bed, because I'm totally better off than how he was. Very freeing being in my wheelchair racer because I go way faster than my regular day chair, and it's nice to just be on my own, going fast and on the track. It's definitely therapeutic, and what comes of it is just like an extra bonus. Like, I really do the sport because I love it, and wherever it takes me, like, that's just extra. So right now I'm training about 4 times a week in my actual racing chair, and I'm going to the gym about 3 times a week. But I am trying for the Paralympics at some point. I'll be training for Rio this summer. Motivation I found last year actually came in one of my disability studies courses, and it described disability in a totally different aspect that I never even thought of myself. I always thought of disability as a physical impairment within a person, and this class talked about a social definition of disability, saying that it resides within society through physical barriers and social oppression. And I think after hearing that definition of disability, I felt so much better about myself, and it motivated me to pursue an education in disability studies. So I do a few speaking events for disability. I do sport and sexuality. Those are 2 keynote presentations that I've done. Also, I've done motivational speaking, and I think it's just really important for people to understand that we just go about our lives in a different way, but we still do the exact same things. My chair is called Tabs for Chairs. It's essentially collecting beer and pop can tabs and selling them at scrap metal companies for money. And in return, the money goes towards a family that is unable to afford medical equipment for their child. I think what happened, the reason I started doing charity work, especially for buying equipment, was at 19, I had to buy a $15,000 wheelchair, which I think is ridiculous. Initially when the accident happened, I think something deep down in me told me that this is kind of it. I know a lot of people are so bent and torn about being able to walk again, but I think the severity of my accident really hit me when it first happened. The initial days in the hospital, I think one sentence I said so many times was, "I'm trapped in a body I hate," because I couldn't move anything. I was in so much pain. I had no independence whatsoever. Overcoming that barrier took time for sure. I'm not necessarily sure how I did it. I think it was just the person inside me who was optimistic and accepting that I wasn't going to be able-bodied again. I'm lucky that I'm that kind of person who is able to deal with what I have now and make the best of it, rather than go into a dark hole for the rest of my life, because I still want to be able to accomplish things like I would have accomplished before. You can measure in different ways, but I feel like I'm more proud of the person I am today than the person I was before.